Hi, superstars. It is time for science. Let's open up our science notebooks to page 120. We are going to be learning about places where animals live. All right, let's look at page 120. There are three friends talking about where animals live. Which friend has the best idea? Ellie says, animals live on land. Pete says animals live in water. And Leroy says animals live on land and in water. So which one do you think has the best idea? Circle it. All right, good job. So we are talking about where animals live. Let's watch this video of this deer. What do you see in this video? What can you tell about where the deer lives? And why do you think the deer lives there? What did you wonder about when you saw this video? Do you think that all animals could live in a place like this? Well, you might not be able to answer these questions right now, but as we go along through the lesson, we'll come back and see if you know the answers. Okay, let's turn to page 121 in your science book, and let's talk about the video of the deer. So where do you think deer live? They have it over here. All you have to do is trace it. Deer live in the forest. That's right. So trace forest. Make sure your name is on your paper. Good job. Have you heard of an animal trainer? Jordan wants to be an animal trainer when he grows up. Animal trainers are interested in learning about how animals behave and learn. What do you think animal trainers would be interested in knowing about animals? They might want to know what an animal needs or where an animal lives. Animal trainers help animals learn different behaviors also. For example, maybe you had a pet bird that you taught to talk. Or maybe you had a pet dog that you taught to sit. That's what animal trainers do. They teach animals new behaviors. So let's watch this video of Jordan and see what animal trainers do.
My name is Jordan, and yes, I was just about to introduce you too. Sorry about that. This is Red. She's a scarlet macaw. Red is so smart, I taught her to wave and say hi. Hello. I love working with animals. I want to be an animal trainer when I grow up. Animal trainers have important jobs. Some animal trainers work in zoos and aquariums. They might educate visitors about the animals. Some animal trainers teach animals to help disabled people. When I grow up, I want to train dogs to open doors and to lead their owner safely around. I better get back to training Red. Oops, I think I need to teach Red to say goodbye.
Okay, get your science book out and turn to page 122. We are going to talk about animal homes. So you are going to make a model. You're going to choose an animal, and then you're going to think about how you can build a home or a shelter for the animal. So you're going to first think about where the animal you choose lives, and then you're going to think about what materials are you going to need to build a home or a shelter. So you need to make a model with the materials that you're going to need. So for instance, if you chose a bird, where do birds usually live? In a nest, right? So they live in a nest, and that helps them protect their babies. So what materials do you think you would need to build a nest? Maybe twigs, little sticks, leaves maybe, right? So those are the materials that you would draw. So you are going to draw on this paper right here, materials that you need to build a nest or whatever shelter you might need. Okay, how about if you chose a bear? So where does a bear usually seek shelter? In a cave. So you'd have to think of what materials you would need in order to build the shelter for a bear. That would probably be something like clay or mud. How about if you chose a groundhog? Where do they usually live? They dig burrows to stay safe. So you would think about what materials would I need to make a burrow? So you would need something maybe like grass and clay. So you are going to draw what materials you would need to build the home for the animal you choose on page 122. So do that right now. On page 123, you are going to draw your animal home or shelter. So on the other page, you drew the materials you needed. You told us what animal it was. Over here, you are going to draw your animal home. And of course, tell me what animal it is. Good job. We are going to listen to a story. This is a fiction story about Iggy Iguana. I want you to predict what this story is about. What do you think it's going to be about? Who do you think the main character of this story is? Okay, let's listen and see if you're right.
Iggy Iguana. Hi there. My name is Iggy Iguana, but you can just call me Iggy. Welcome to the habitat I call home. Let me show you the Sonoran Desert. I think seeing where someone lives always tells you a lot about a person, or an iguana, in my case. Come with me. I've been living here in the desert for as long as I can remember. It's a dry place, but it suits me well. My body likes to be dry instead of wet. I love how hot it gets here. The sand feels great on my claws. I like to stay close to the bushes on flat land, and sometimes I like to climb up to the rocky stream beds. I am a kind of lizard. My body is short, less than the length of your ruler. I have a very long tail that has brown stripes. My tail is longer than my body. My head is small and my legs are short. There is a little green on my body and my belly is a pale color. Look how well I blend in with the bushes. I feel safe here because it's hard for other animals to find me. Some animals like to eat other animals, but I like to eat plants the most. These bushes are my favorite food. I really like eating the small yellow flowers that grow in the bush. I climb right into it and help myself. I also eat insects sometimes. The best part about being an iguana is that I'm fast. I can run so fast across the desert, you might even miss me. I run my fastest when I'm being chased. There are other animals in the desert that would like to have me for dinner. When a bird or a snake tries to get me, I run away and duck into a hiding spot under my favorite bush. Thanks for visiting my home. I hope to see you again another time.
Okay. How can Iggy stay away from predators in the desert? What does he do? Well, he runs away and he ducks into a hiding spot, right? He likes those bushes. Where is Iggy's habitat? Do you remember? It's in the Sonoran Desert. Why do you think the desert is a good place for Iggy to live? Well, it's dry and her body likes to be dry. What is the best part of being an iguana, according to Iggy? Well, Iggy said that she's fast, and that's the best thing about being an iguana. All right. Let's learn some vocabulary. These are some words that you're going to be hearing throughout this lesson. So let's see what they are. Habitat. Can you say habitat? Habitat is a place where plants and animals live. This is a habitat. What does this look like? There's a lot of animals here, a lot of fish. Ecosystem. Repeat after me. Ecosystem. All the living things in an environment is an ecosystem. This is an ecosystem. All right, so you're going to hear these words as we go throughout this lesson, so pay attention. Let's watch this video about where
Did you know that animals live in all kinds of different places? Like a rainforest. A rainforest is a hot, wet place. Many animals live in the rainforest. Gorillas love to eat the rainforest's leaves, fruit, and bark. Poison dart frogs eat insects like crickets and ants. Toucans live in the holes of the rainforest's hollowed-out trees. Boa constrictors can live up in the trees or on the ground. And animals like the Bengal tiger have plenty to drink from the rainforest's lakes and rivers. Some animals live in deserts. A desert is a hot, dry place. Camels have a very tough mouth that allows them to eat thorny desert plants. Rattlesnakes eat small desert animals, and desert tortoises dig underground burrows to live in to get out of the heat. But how do desert animals get water? The cactus wren gets water from the insects, fruits, and seeds that they eat. The kangaroo rat gets water from the seeds that they eat. There are many other types of places that animals live. The Arctic tundra is an icy, cold place near the North Pole. The Arctic tundra is home to many animals like polar bears, walrus, and whales. Grasslands are dry places with a lot of grass. Animals such as elephants, bison, and mice live in grasslands. A forest is a place where there are many trees. The forest is home to a lot of animals such as bears, squirrels, and deer. Thanks for letting me share what I've learned about the different places animals can live.
We are on page 124 in your science notebook. So if you need to get that, pause the video and go grab your science notebook. Listen for these words as you learn about places animals live. These are the vocabulary words that we went over. Ecosystem and habitat. Animal and plant habitats. Where do animals live? So we watched that video. You're going to draw a line from the animal to the habitat. If you need to go back and review the video, you can, and then you can come back and draw a line from where the deer lives. Where do you think the deer lives? In the Arctic, the grassland, or the forest? You're going to draw a line to where you think the deer's habitat is. And the same with the polar bear and the elephant. All right, let's see what's on page 125. Rainforest and desert animals. You're going to circle your answers. Number 1, which animal lives in the rainforest? Is it a toucan, or what is that? That looks like a bison. Number 2, which animal lives in the desert? A deer or a camel? So if you forgot, you can always go back and watch the video again. Okay, so answer those questions. Good job, superstars. We are going to listen to a selection or a book about animal and plant habitats. You will learn how animals get what they need from their environments. This is nonfiction. Do you remember what that means? That means it's true. And it's about different habitats, and the different habitats can have different temperatures, and they can also have different amounts of rainfall. Can you tell what the temperature might be from looking at the pictures? As you listen to this story, you will hear some of our vocabulary words: habitat and ecosystem. Do you remember what a habitat is? A habitat is a place where animals live, such as a forest. And an ecosystem is all the living and non-living things in an environment. So if a forest is a habitat, all of the living and non-living things in it form the ecosystem. The non-living things in the forest include the air, sun, and soil. All right, let's listen to the selection.
Animal and plant habitats. Animals and plants are living things. Remember that a living thing is something that grows, changes, and needs food, air, and water to live. People are living things. Animals and plants are also living things. Living things have different needs. A need is something a living thing must have in order to live. Animals need food and water in order to live and grow. What living things need? Animals need food. They also need water and air. Plants need these things too. If living things do not have what they need, they can't live and grow. And plants get what they need from where they grow. Animal and plant homes. A habitat is a place where animals and plants live. Just as you have a home, plants and animals also have a home. There are many kinds of habitats. The jungle and the desert are habitats. Each habitat is special. You will find different kinds of animals and plants in each habitat. Each place has exactly what the animals and plants need in order to live. The sea is a habitat. Forest habitat. Bears live in a forest habitat. They eat fruit and berries from forest plants. They also eat other forest animals. The forest has what the bear needs to live. The forest also gets the right amount of light and water for plants to grow. Deer live in the forest. Bears drink water from forest streams. Living things work together. In every habitat, there is an ecosystem. An ecosystem is a group of living and non-living things that work together in their habitat. Water and land are part of an ecosystem. Animals and plants live near what they need. Living things in an ecosystem need the other animals and plants to stay alive.
So, what is a habitat? Do you remember? I just told you. If you forgot, go back and listen. How do plants and animals get what they need from their habitat? And what kind of habitat do you live in? We are on page 126 in your science notebook. Now you should have already finished page 125. Over here, you circled which animal lives in the rainforest and which animal lives in the desert. So on page 126, you are going to draw an animal, one that lives in the desert and one that lives in the rainforest. And you're going to show how the animal can survive. What does the animal in the desert need to survive? And what does the animal in the rainforest need to survive? Now you can always go back and watch the video. The answers are in that video. So if you forgot, just rewind this video, go back and watch it carefully, and come back and answer the questions. Go to page 127 in your science notebooks. And we are talking about things humans need. Humans are people. Like other animals, humans have needs. What needs do humans need or have to survive? Do you know what survive means? It means to stay alive. So where do people live? Do they live in houses? What do people eat? Think about what you eat. And what other things do people need to survive? Can you think of other things? We need air. We need warm clothes, shelter. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about yourself. Think about when you wake up each morning, and I want you to go through what you do when you wake up until you go to sleep at night. What do you do when you wake up? You probably get out of bed, you wash, you probably eat breakfast, you probably change your clothes. So I want you to think of things you do and things you need from the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep. And you are going to draw things that humans need to survive. You have these 4 boxes here. Now it says, choose 2 things that humans need. How do humans get those things? And you can talk about it with a family member, with your mom or your dad. So think about 2 of those things that humans need. It could be food, it could be a house, it could be clothing, and you're going to think, how do humans get those things? Okay? Make sure your name is on the paper and the date. Okay, superstars, are you ready to show what you learned? You observed many places where animals live. So on page 128, you are going to choose an animal's habitat. Do you remember what a habitat is? A place where animals live. We spoke about many different habitats: deserts, forests, rainforests, grasslands, the Arctic. I want you to draw a model of your habitat. So, what habitat are you going to choose? And what animal lives there? So, I want you to draw the habitat and draw the animal that lives there. So the question we asked at the beginning of this lesson was, where do different kinds of animals live? You've investigated where animals live. You have made a model of an animal's home. Now you're going to watch this video again. What do you think now? How do these animals get what they need? Let's watch. Open your science notebooks to page 129. What do you think about where animals live now? Have your thoughts changed? I want you to write an answer to the questions. You are going to use what you know about habitats to make a model. We did this one, didn't we? Let's go here. Where do different kinds of animals live? Okay, you're going to write your answer now. What did you learn about where animals live? Do you remember we spoke about the different habitats? Animals live in different habitats. What are some of the habitats we spoke about? What did you learn? What are the different habitats called? Well, there were deserts. So deserts, rainforests, grasslands, Arctic. So you would write animals live in different habitats. They live in, and you can write down the different habitats. They live in the desert, the Arctic, the forest, and you write down the habitats that you want to write down. All right, superstars, you're doing great. Until next time, I will see you later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.